So one of our mentors suggested that we have a bouncy house because he worked for a place that rents them out, and he could get it for free. And it was a joke. It was the last week of the quarter, and there was no way we could possibly schedule it. So come the next quarter, we had about a month in advance to plan for a party, and we decided, okay, we could actually do this. And there were multiple moments where we thought, no, there's no way that the administration is going to sign off on this. And then all the doors just opened. And come the last week, we realized we're actually going to be able to do this. And so we had a bouncy house at Sealth High School for an advisory period, just to celebrate, hey, this is the end of the Dream Project Cohort. Thanks for coming. Thanks for working with us. And even that was chaotic to the very end because my co-lead was gone and we were spread out on two different sides of the school, running 45 minutes behind schedule or more. We couldn't get the bouncy house through the doors. I got a call during the visit like, hey, we can't fit it through the doors. This is after the time where it was supposed to be set up and blown up, and it's not even in the building yet. And so I just keep trying, I'll be there in a minute. So a lot of people stepped up and made sure that things went, that things didn't collapse, basically. And I sent all the strong students to go help push it through the door and up this big flight of stairs. And 15 minutes into class, we get it in the gym and unroll it and unpack it and blow it up. And so for the second half of class, somehow we managed to have this bouncy house sitting there with a big elephant on top and like a little slide, a little obstacle course. And we had 20 or 30 students going and running and jumping inside this thing. Nearly flipped it once or twice. It was chaotic and crazy, and I'm surprised no one broke anything or died. But it worked, and in the end, I guess it was crazy. So we had a lot of mentors, and we had a lot of mentors mostly because we pretty much had a new set every quarter. There were only two that stuck with us for the entire quarter. One of them was on steering and been a chief Sealth longer than we had. The other one was this newbie freshman that just would not go away. We eventually wound up picking her to replace us, mostly because we pitied her and kind of wanted to make her suffer the same fate that we had in the last year. But overall, there were some really, really interesting ones. There was a guy named Dustin who was kind of a goofy fellow. He managed to get us the bouncy house. We had this pair of mentors named Brian and Jonisha that I swear are a couple, but I don't think they actually are. They're just always together. And even 3 quarters later, I'm still running into them together. We had a lot of mentors that really weren't a part of the group, and that was really unfortunate. Kind of the downside. So we worked with some really interesting students this year. In all definitions of the word interesting. We had one student, a girl, Rosa. Rosa knows how to work a system, to say the very least. She saved our butts over and over again. When we were just starting, we didn't know who all the kids are. We just had purple sheets with their name and information about them. And so she guided us around a lunchroom, just pointing out, oh yeah, that person, helping us hand out things, like workbooks and stuff like that. And she just went on. She finished all of her college application stuff really early, and she got good grades, but she never went to school. And the only reason she said she came to school is to hang with us. And I say hang with us because she didn't actually have any work to do, so she wasn't really working with us for a long time, especially near the end of our cohort. They had students like Carl. Carl was the kind of overachiever type kid. He was involved in this like early doctor program. Been up. He made fun of me because he got free money to come live in the dorm that I'm paying to live in, and was given more like food money for a month than I get in a quarter, and just hung out and did cool stuff like that. And I got a chance to work with him, and he would. I worked with him on his writing, not just with essays, but just in general. And he would text me a month later, like, "Hey, I did, this trick that you taught me." And I just kind of smile on the inside because he was so enthusiastic about it. Now we had some kids kind of on the crazy end of interesting. Kwan and Antonio kind of stand out as being the troublemakers of the group. Kwan somehow manages to be intelligent. I don't know how. He certainly doesn't act like it. Yeah. Constantly goofs off, constantly skips like, "Oh, I'm busy. Where are you at? The gym?" What? Antonio, the same thing. Constantly a battle to get him to do work. But they're entertaining, to say the least. Definitely brought a lot of character to the group. We had Shrilak, who for the longest time we thought was Rose's twin because we couldn't tell the two of them apart. They're both quite spunky overall. Shrilak has an attitude that never stops fighting back. He's quite sarcastic and just has a naturally grumpy looking face, which we make fun of her for all the time. And, we had people like Natalie, who just had the most endearing partnership with her mentor, like friendship, not even partnership, friendship. Both dance, her and Katie, and hung out. There was like big sister, little sister, except for the fact that the big sister was actually tinier. And so it was just an interesting cohort. A lot of. So the reason I got involved in Dream Project is because my RA pursued me and basically said, "Hey, I want you to do this. You'd be really great. This sounds like something for you." When I was just first getting to know her, and so I said, "Okay, I'll go out on a limb and I'll join this thing." And as the quarter went on, even though my experiences initially weren't that great at visits, she kept pursuing and said, "Hey, go to this meeting, go to this meeting, go to this meeting." And so I went to all these things, mostly just because I was invited. And that was how I became a high school lead, because she invited, she called me and said, "Hey, do you want to take up this position?" I kind of need an answer. And I was like, standing in the basement of Lander, coming back from doing laundry, sure. Who am I going to be working with? Emily Shea. I don't know her. I just got roped into this, and it's not something I regret. And in reality, to me, the Dream Project has always been a group of people that invest in others. so the reason why I come back is because someone has invested in me, and that investment has meant something. And now I have an investment in others. That also means a lot.